Hello and welcome to Honest Tool Reviews. I had someone asking about a video, or really just asking me to answer something, and I figured I could turn it into a video for you because that would be doing the better thing. So, this is about lightsabers, as you know from the title, and I hope to answer a couple of questions. First off, are they battle ready? Yes, they are battle ready. Yes, you can duel with them. There is the caveat that they do still break. They do still break, and I have proof. This is a jagged, rough edge where this one has broken. This is a Art Savers model, and they have in fact reached back out to me through Gmail in correspondence about this issue. However, it was supposed to look a bit more like this. And as you can see, the tips look a little bit different and they clearly attach. I'm assuming that not only the tip come off, but a portion of the surrounding plastic as well. I'm not entirely sure what it's called. It's probably not PVC. It's probably not technically plastic. Then I'm going to go with plastic. These are both battle ready lightsabers. They have the aftermarket high end controls, one a little more so than the other. And then I have two really base model ones that I have to say are the most battle ready. They are the most battle ready probably because the PVC plastic blades are just irresponsibly stronger because they're smaller in diameter and therefore the curve is in a tighter space, giving it more rigidness than the others. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that this is a better lightsaber. For starters, the blades are shorter, so having two dual wielded, it's okay and it makes some sense. If it's just too terribly long, you can't move the sword at these angles unless you're really tall. Now, the other thing is, if you had two and they were too ridiculously long, doing these kinds of motions would start to get a bit uh, harder. So you would want shorter blades if you're going to have to manipulate two, simply because of the acrobatics involved. However, because I'm just a person that enjoys Star Wars and I'm not that big of a person, I'm not trying to push for lightsabers to be a sport or anything. I do have to explain that I really don't know enough about this to truly tell you a lot of things. I just know that these were from a aftermarket creator that it seems like he has shut down his Amazon, and that they're probably still available from other people using a similar design. And this was the same guy's Model 2, which he used a different company name and a different uh, PayPal and stuff when I went through the process with him to get things purchased and procured. So I don't know if it's going to be possible to find these two exact ones, but they should be extremely similar to other things. And I'm almost certain that the blades are mass produced and very, very purchasable in different places. Which brings me to another point, though, that even though these are battle ready lightsabers, you will have damage because you can't just beat something mercilessly without it eventually taking damage And even if it's small damage, it adds up, and eventually you get a hairline fracture, and then a bigger fracture, and then you're just missing something. Now, this actually happened because my girlfriend, who this actual lightsaber belongs to, was getting overly zealous, and she was striking on my little lightsabers with just the end, just barely hitting me. I was trying to avoid her swings, but also using the blades to make sure she couldn't get but so close to me. Therefore, her blade was making a bit of a strike and sliding motion, but just on the tip with high velocity and a lot of vibration. And it seemed like it was the perfect storm to just rip it out. And I'm very sorry to hear that she, you know, didn't enjoy beating the crap out of me with a lightsaber. However, this was due to repetitive, uh, long, repetitive motion and striking, and I mean absolutely wailing with everything you got, and just in one same specific place over and over and over. Now, my lightsabers did not get any damage that I can see from hers being damaged. And again, mine have smaller blades. And also, they received the hit in multiple places, whereas hers did not. Um, but I would argue, though, that the blades are cheaper than the entire thing. And if you buy a number of them, they typically tend to be cheaper. And you don't even have to buy them from the same person that you bought the entire lightsaber from, as long as you know what size the outer diameter, inner diameter, length is going to be. Because one, you want to know what the length is going to be, and two, it needs to fit the base of your lightsaber. And that's about it. And there's only so many sizes, widths, and stuff. There may be two or three tops. I will kind of give you a little test run on this, even with it broken, to show you kind of the potential that some of these do have. I've not wielded this thing in 5 to 6 months, but I'll do my best.
Power on.
Supposed to be able to change the color. Yeah. And then you simply pick the color when you want it. And now it's green.
Emperor. princess. Rage. The high ground. The count. The fallen.
Even though the sounds sound very, very similar to most audiences at most times, there are quite a number of slightly different sounds set up to different soundboards, including Princess, Scavenger, High Ground, which is obviously supposed to be emulating Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber. And the differences are subtle, but they're not lost. Got to put it in sleep mode. There we go. Now it's officially asleep. Okay, it won't wake back up. This one does all those special sounds. This one does not. This one does the RGB color effect. Huh. Well, in all fairness, I guess this is the one that I have not charged yet. Damn. That's a bit irresponsible of me to do a video and not have it charged. Yeah, it's definitely dead. I won't be able to add that into the video. What I can do, however, is measure the blades. The short blades have a length from inside the hilt to tip at 23, which is 1 foot 11 inches. Okay. I'm not sure what 23 means. 23 inches? Yeah, 1 foot 11 inches. Okay, but that's just for the short ones. Now, from the end of the hilt to the tip, without the 1/4 inch spacer, you're looking at 2 foot 7 inches. 2 foot 7 inches, or 31 inches. Now, this one I will be unable to accurately measure due to me being unsure what the actual size of this end of the lightsaber is. However, that won't stop me from making a close guess, because if this was a 1/2 inch, and it was probably more closer to 3/4, but even if I'm conservative, we can figure out about what it is. So if and I know that this is where the end of the base is, because I installed the blade when it came. You're looking at about 2 foot 11 inches, maybe 2 foot 14 inches. Just depends, and that's just for the blade. So this blade is the length of the entire lightsaber over here. Now, from the end of the hilt to the end of the lightsaber itself. So a slightly different story. It would top out around 3 feet 8 inches or 3 feet and 9 inches. So you have quite a variety of length in between, and it is also possible to buy a longer blade and trim it down just on the inside where the base attaches, as long as you're confident you can cut it completely straight. Maybe take a small handsaw, very careful little metal saw, and just trim it straight down small amounts at the time to just get it to where you want it to be. That is possible as well. I don't really suggest it because it's on an item that you've paid a couple $100s for, but it is doable. And if you're brave, you're good with tools, you have a tool in good condition, and you've done some kind of sawing before, you might can give it a try. Maybe a Dremel if that's what you're good with. I mean, I can do it, and I'm confident that I can do it, but my problem is straight lines. I would be worried that I'd get it wrong. So without like a full-size table or saw or something, I would not really want to mess with it. And besides, if I pay for 3 feet of blade, I'm going to use 3 feet of blade. That's just who I am. There are links in between these two, such as for the one that's currently charging, and I'm not going to put it back in the video just to give you that actual image of me measuring it. Instead, we can just assume, and what I'm looking at is about 2 feet and 6 inches and a quarter. That is a bit shorter than the other one, but still longer than these, and that was only the blade. But the hilt is probably the exact same actual general management as the other big black one. The two similar silver ones are a little bit on the shorter side and just a tiny bit on the smaller size in diameter as well. You could say that these bigger ones have a 1-inch diameter, and these have more of a 3/4 inch diameter. Now, there are some benefits to the smaller ones, there's benefits to the bigger ones, and it just depends what you're using and why you're using it to decide whether or not those benefits are your benefits or someone else's benefits. These did come with this little double-sided nut that comes in handy for connecting the two blades. And I believe I've showed this kind of thing before in a previous video, but it has holes in it, and you're going to see holes in all of the lightsaber bases because those are where the speakers come from. These holes do serve a dual purpose on things like this, because you use that to insert a tool like a screwdriver all the way through to make a handle to kind of get it loose after it's gotten tight. And the holes are also important for allowing the sound to escape, to kind of keep from losing the immersion by, attaching these two together. Also, you will note that the buttons don't always line up correctly. If my thumb is both on a button, you'll see that my thumbs are in two completely different places, and that will most likely be the same story for any set like this that you purchase. Just keep in mind that when you're using this, you can hold it just about anywhere. So if you choose to put your hand on the button and accidentally cut it off, that is kind of on you. The idea is to generally keep your hands in the middle, but your style is your style. Some people would use the nut to get a little extra reach out of one, and then kind of sacrifice some on the handle on the other to have kind of a full blade sword and small tanto kind of effect. And that's just, again, a preference that people have. And I'm saying that as if I have some sort of experience, but I really don't. It's just that I have seen a couple of videos of people using lightsabers. In my interest in Star Wars, I did look at them with a little bit of interest, and I mean, it does look like fun to utterly beat the crap out of somebody else, but it turns out that there's actually an organized sport behind this. And even though it's not necessarily something I would drive 4 hours out of my way to attend, I think it would be worth looking up on YouTube if you're interested in dueling. They have, in fact, made an actual sport that includes lightsabers, not just staffs, but lightsabers. And they follow a few rules of engagement, including along the lines of if the light goes out, technically your blade's not there. Any strikes that you make with the light out are null and void. You don't get points for those. And in fact, if your lightsaber can no longer turn on, your opponent's hits all count, even if you do deflect them. Stuff like that. It's kind of like a bunch of boys grew up and decided, you know what, we're going to do the same thing we did as a kid, but we're going to do it on a professional level. We're going to do this right. We're going to hold people accountable when they lose. No more of that stuff. No, no, no. You're out. So take it for what it's worth. And I apologize that the median lightsaber didn't get fully involved in this video, but that was a little bit of extra information in a different direction than my previous lightsaber video. And although I am sorry that my upload probably spammed a number of you with notifications when you didn't want them, I do feel that that was interesting information for the person who requested it, and I felt that it was easier to do a video showing this than just trying to type all of this information out. I hope that it goes to the person who was looking for it, and I hope that you all have a great day. And as always, stay safe out there.